back, car enthusiasts. Way back in the mid-20th century, cars were big things with fins, white wall tires, chrome, and all sorts of other wicked features. And there was a real fad for customizing these vintage vehicles into even cooler cars called hot rods.
Hot rods. Some of those cars and trucks as well are around today, and they're the subject of an exhibition by photographer and hot rod lover Bryan Wilcox. I dropped in to take a little look-see.
It's like this. Hot rods have been in my family for a long time. I've got an older brother who always had hot rods, loved them, sort of passed them on to me. I don't have one myself, but it's the color, the style, the lines. They are something that you don't see anymore. The new cars are, as far as I'm concerned, the new cars look all the same. Everybody's trying to buy something off the lot that has coolness. Hot rods, you build cool into it.
So how did this gallery come about?
That guy right there.
What is it about Bryan's work that you wanted to have featured here?
Well, I always find Bryan's work very whimsical, and you know, with his graphic designer background, I always find it's very interesting to see how he put all the elements together. It's a lot of work.
As you may have noticed, there's more to Bryan's photos than just straight-up images of cars.
I'll Photoshop new wheels on them and lower them, remove door handles. So they're not even the original image of the car. Because a lot of people say, oh, that's my car, don't take my car. Well, it's not your car, it's my car now.
Well, I like the colors represented here. Also, the variety of different design elements, and then the croppings on all these images are different. And the backgrounds, the way he put the different elements in.
I have to say, looking at some of your photos, they remind me of panels of comic books. Was that ever an inspiration for you?
Definitely. Look at the one with the dog driving the truck. I mean, I did not really shoot a dog driving a truck. I want to put some humor into it so that it's not really the perfect shot of the perfect automobile that will go in Hot Rod magazine. I want to sort of put my own spin on it.
One of my favorite photographs is of a hot rod going into the road. What was your inspiration behind that photo?
There was actually a pothole in front of the building, but I just made it bigger and stuffed a car in it.
So you improvised?
I improvised. Because I shoot photography of architecture, I'll start adding my hot rods into architecture now. I'm shooting a lot of bars now. The photograph of the Rex Hotel, where I've actually close cropped it, made it rise off the ground, and I put a truck with no wheels on it.
The favorite photo is that one right there. Just when you look at it, it's just how it's upside down, and it's just in the clouds in the air, and you don't really would see that anywhere. So that's why I like it. It's my favorite one.
He does sort of really interesting combinations of things you would never expect. So pieces that sometimes have like a real depth to it, where they don't look like advertising, they look like soulful things, really moody kinds of things, and I find that really appealing and a little different.
And what do hot rods represent to you?
Something that I want.
You don't own a hot rod.
I've got lots of photos of them, but I don't have one in my driveway.
Okay, so somebody out there, your friends or family, somebody needs to buy you a hot rod.
Of course.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Bryan falls into the category of dudes I'd want to have a beer with, and I'd want to have a beer with his mustache.
I actually asked if I could borrow his mustache, and he got a little uncomfortable.
How do you borrow
and said
a mustache?
no. I don't know. I just wanted it for a day. But no, I mean, his photography is amazing, and I think it's neat too, comparing some of his work to comics, because there was this huge, he said he was inspired too by these hot rod comic series in the 50s and the 60s, and adding that kind of like comedic element to his work as well.
Well, there was, and also, you know, comics like Ratfink kind of explored that, but then also you think of the cars of superheroes. Green Hornet had an old school hot rod looking car, and a lot of these comic book heroes did as well. You go back to the classic Batman, so that's kind of how I get into it, because on the car front, I'm not really interested, but it's more the superhero thing, you know?
So my dad is obsessed with muscle cars, and he used to take me to all his car shows
when
I was younger. I was a little tom girl growing up, wanted to impress my dad. And I just remember the section of hot rods and being like by their colors and all their, you know, engines on the outside. And
cool
so
stuff.
yeah, I grew up with cars. I have an appreciation for this.
And Bryan, call me, let's hang, bro.